Good morning, everyone. It's Mrs. Linehan, and I just want to talk to you about what's happening with DYW this week. First off, the academic forms are due to your guidance counselor today. If they're not there already, please make sure that your guidance counselor has that form by the end of the day. That brings up the question of test scores. I know a number of you took the PSAT, and some of you may even be signed up for the December ACT. And so you've got some things that are still coming in, and that's okay. Just get that form to your guidance counselor. I'll be sending out a Google form myself, a questionnaire for all of you, just to ask if anybody's waiting for anything. And then we can move forward from there. So if I know I'm waiting on ACT scores for you, I can kind of hold yours back for the scholastic judge until we get all of your complete information. But that way the scholastic judge could get started on those people who are already complete with everything they need. In terms of the online questions, let me just take a moment here. I'm going to go out of full screen here and go into the website. I've got Ava opened right here just as an example. Once you have been accepted to the program, which our competitive group is fully on board here, you all have a page that looks like this where you can go in and you can fill in your specific different activities, honors, awards, community service, all that good stuff. There's also a spot here for you to upload your talent information. And one of the questions that it asks is for you to write a brief description or intro that would be read prior to your talent. So I'll be sharing also with you some samples from previous years, so you can kind of get a feel for how long they usually are, what they usually consist of. Don't worry about the photo. I've already got that uploaded. So everything else is there. And the more complete you can be on these forms right now, the more meaningful our interview prep will be, because we'll be able to give you real questions that they might be asking you as judges based on the information that you have on your personal forms. If you don't have anything on personal forms when we get started with interview prep, we can still toss you questions, but they're not going to be specific to you. So the sooner you can get this filled in, the more meaningful your interview prep will be. The next thing I want to talk to you about is the Lou Malnati's fundraiser is completing on Thursday of this week. So I'm really hoping, since I gave you guys an extra 2 weeks on that you are able to, or will be able to, yet in the next couple of days, go out and do a little bit of fundraising in that regard. Once again, they are frozen pizza coupons. So you just ask somebody if they'd like to buy one, you collect $13 from them, you turn in the total amount of money to me, and then when the coupons come in like 2 weeks, I will just disperse them to you, and then you get them to whoever ordered them. Then they, whenever it's convenient for them, go to Lou Malnati's and pick up the actual frozen pizza whenever it's convenient. So there's no delivery for you other than the actual coupon. Okay, and once again, they're $13, and for everyone that you sell, you get $5 in your own account for fundraising efforts. The next thing I want to talk about is an email script. If you take a look right here on the fundraising email script, this is just a kind of a generic thing that I put together when my daughter was doing this program, and I actually used to use it for Mr. BC as well, just kind of modified it a little bit. The key is to not just blast everybody that you know with the same email. Personalize it and send it individually to your aunts, your uncles, grandparents, godparents, former coaches, whatever it might be, whoever you feel comfortable asking to see if they might be willing to support you. They usually get a pretty good response. It's okay to, sometimes people will put like-minded people together, like maybe all of their aunts on one email, and then they can kind of see how other people are responding, and sometimes that will spur them to respond as well. So, but if you send it out to 50 people, nobody will respond, because it's just it's way too easy to just ignore that. So be a little judicious in who you send it to and how many people get blasted on that same email. The next thing I want to talk about is the interview prep questions, which are linked right. I just saw them right here. Sample interview questions. If you just click on that on the week at a glance, this is a document that has every question that any girl I've ever worked with can remember. listed on it. So as soon as you come out of your interview for my local program, you sit down, you write down every question you can remember that the judges asked you. And then we add that to a Google Doc, and that has been going for almost 20 years now. So these questions are sometimes very specific to the girls' individual forms, but a lot of times they just reflect the trends that are happening in society, what the hot topics are. So it's a really good starting place for just practicing interview. Toss some of these questions around together, maybe over Thanksgiving when you're with friends and family. See how other people might answer them. Sometimes that gives you an idea of different thoughts that you might have about them as well. Finally, I want to talk about the practices. Those will actually be starting after the Thanksgiving break. I've got a little bit of a hectic week myself this week. Normally, I would have maybe started off with a Zoom or an in-person practice. Unfortunately, that's just not going to work out for me this week. I'm going to be out tomorrow, and then I'm actually flying to Boston on Thursday to go spend the weekend with my son at Harvard. So I will be gone this weekend, but we'll kick things off after Thanksgiving. With the possible exception of next week, we should have the fitness routine videos ready to go. And so if those are really up and ready, and there's interest on perhaps Tuesday after school before the Thanksgiving break, we'll kind of have to play it by ear. I'll see how much interest there is. But whether we practice together or you just have access to the videos and can start practicing those routines on your own, either way, you're ready to get going on it. So that's going to be awesome. But plan on starting the real practices after Thanksgiving. And I'll send out a doodle survey to find out what is the best time for everybody, and hopefully find a good couple of dates that work for everyone. Okay, I think that might be it for now. If you have questions, please let me know. I'm super excited about kicking this off. I know things are a little bit different this year in terms of how we're handling money, and I will be communicating to you after I get all of those details from our school accountant about how to collect money for tickets, program book ads, that sort of thing. In the meantime, anything related to the program book or sponsorship, those checks can be made out to the America's Junior Miss Scholarship Foundation. That information is on those fundraising forms that you can find right here on the left-hand side. So that writing checks out to that organization will always be okay, because that is where we funnel our money anyway, and that's what actually distributes our scholarship money. We don't do everything that way because we need a little bit of budget money for things like covering t-shirts, that kind of thing. So, but for the most part, everything can be made out to the America's Junior Miss Foundation. So if you have any questions, please let me know. But otherwise, I think we're in good shape and we're ready to get started with this right after Thanksgiving. Have a great day, everybody.